Let me say something that might make you uncomfortable. Your job is not safe. Not because you're bad at it, not because your company is evil, and not because layoffs are secretly happening tomorrow, but because the system was never designed to prioritize your stability. As someone who has worked in higher education, the private sector, and has freelanced for over 2 decades, I have watched corporations and institutions make strategic decisions that had nothing to do with individual performances. If you live in a work at will state, which most of you do, your employer can often terminate you at almost any time for almost any reason that is not illegal. That reality shapes everything about how power at work works. And if you do not understand that, you're going to keep operating from an illusion instead of leverage. So, if you stay with me, I want to reframe how you think about your security at your job so you stop chasing emotional safety and start building structural protection. Part 1, the loyalty myth. We are taught something early in our careers. If you work hard, if you're dependable, if you say yes, if you don't cause friction, and if you're a great cultural fit, you're going to be safe. And I'll tell you, that belief feels good. It almost feels moral. It makes us feel like we're in control of our future. But loyalty does not equal immunity. It equals usefulness. And usefulness is always conditional. The moment your role becomes redundant, expensive, politically inconvenient, or strategically irrelevant, the conversation changes quietly. Sometimes the company is struggling financially. Sometimes leadership changes. Sometimes a private equity firm steps in. Sometimes the new VP wants their own people. And sometimes your salary simply has grown beyond what the people who look at the spreadsheets like. None of that is actually personal, but that doesn't mean it doesn't affect you. And the people who feel the most blindsided are often the ones that are most loyal. That is the part that a lot of people don't like to actually admit. So how risk actually shows up in the real world. Here's what risk actually looks like. It's really dramatic. It's often subtle. You are no longer invited to planning meetings. Projects you used to lead are reassigned. Your manager starts documenting things that were previously informal. You start getting feedback that is technically neutral but strategically vague. You start hearing words like restructure, realignment, or efficiency. Or worse, you hear nothing at all. Sometimes the temperature just changes. People assumed that they're going to be warned, but usually you're not. Not because your manager hates you, but because once a decision is made at a higher level, it is already done. And here's the most uncomfortable part. A manager can look you in the eye one day and say you're fine and still be telling the truth in that moment. And then 2 weeks later, HR is in the room. This is not about villainizing company. It's about understanding structure. The structure protects the organization first. Once you start realizing that you are an asset, and often a valuable one, hopefully, but you are still an asset. Work at will and the power at play. Most people misunderstand work at will. They think this means you can quit without giving notice. That is the least important part of this. Work at will means the power imbalance is built into the system. Your organization has deeper pockets. It has a legal team. It has an HR department. It has strategic insulation. You have a paycheck. So your protection is not emotional loyalty. It's options, your transferable skills, your active network, a side come if possible, industry visibility, a resume that is current, matrix for your jobs that are documented. If losing your job tomorrow would completely destabilize your life and identity, you are structurally exposed. That's not a character flaw, it's just a reality check. If your job ended in 30 days, how prepared are you? Not emotionally, but practically. Is your resume updated? Could you articulate the value that you bring clearly? Do you know your measurable results? Have you kept relationships warm outside of your current company? Do you know what your skills are worth in the market right now? Most people wait until crisis mode. That is when panic sets in, and panic can be very expensive. When you are prepared while things are stable, you negotiate from strength. This does not mean you need to become paranoid. Once again, it means you need to become strategic. Think like a professional athlete on a contract. You play hard, you contribute fully, you support the team, but you also understand that trades happen, contracts end, and the jersey is not your identity. This is where things start to get emotional. We do not just work for money, we work for belonging. Our society has built it into our identity. for our validation, for structure. So when a job ends, especially unexpectedly, it feels like a betrayal. Sometimes it is a betrayal. Sometimes it's just economics. The healthier you separate your identity from your employer, the less devastating transitions become. You are not your title. You are not your company's mission statement. You are not your business card. You are your skills, your adaptivity, your relationships, your thinking. When those are strong, job transitions become chapters instead of catastrophes. Let me be clear about something. This is not anti-work. This is not anti-company. This is not a call to job hop every 6 months. It is a call for maturity. You need to work hard. You need to add value. You need to build good relationships. But you do not need to outsource your sense of security to an organization whose legal framework explicitly allows separation at any time. You can be committed without being naive. You can be loyal without being dependent. You can care deeply and still be prepared. Those are not contradictions. That is what a professional adulthood looks like. So I'm going to close by saying this. I'm not telling you to live paranoid. I'm telling you to live aware. Security does not come from hoping your employer loves you. It comes from knowing that you'll be fine if they do not. If this kind of career realism is helpful, subscribe. I'm not here to sell you hustle culture or blind optimism. I'm here to help you think clearly about how power, risk, and leverage actually works in your career. And clarity is your competitive advantage. That's all I got.